What strategies do you recommend for colleges to effectively reach and attract international students?
That's an interesting question. So, I mean, schools and colleges have been doing this forever, right? Enrolling students. But now times have shifted. Times have become online. Times have changed to be more involving. So students are looking for, hey, how do I know that your school is actually giving me the kind of education that also keeps me engaged and evolving to the current market trends? So schools can no more just say, okay, hey, I'm just going to send out a bunch of flyers or I'm just going to do ads. It doesn't work. So a lot of our customers are actually finding value in using AI as a way to get in front of students. So basically, think of it as doing a lot of content around your campus, virtual tours, student information sessions, but using AI to actually not just control and manage how these videos and pieces of content look, but also what is it that really interests students. So instead of doing a 30-minute long video on a boring campus tour, it's important to make it as short as possible within maybe 10 minutes. Sometimes even 30-second shots really work, but hard-hitting points. Because over time, like you look at people from a decade ago to now, students especially, the attention span has gone from that to that. You got to get their attention within a few seconds. And that's where using AI in your content strategy really helps. Think of your institution as a business for a change. I know we don't like calling institutions a business because it's there for social good. It's there for the general public good. But sometimes you have to really think about all the qualities and the values that you have to give out to a student, but how do you actually present it to them, right? So that's really important.
So building on that question a little bit, how do you recommend these institutions try and retain their students that they get internationally? And can you give an example of a college who does a really great job at this?
That's a great question. So over the last 5 years, a lot of our schools are actually complaining about students wanting to transfer, right? And that's becoming a major challenge now. A lot of students will come to the United States or Canada and then may not feel happy about something. It's just human to not feel happy about something, right? Either the cost of attendance or just campus life, or they're not happy with the kind of education they're getting. And so they tend to transfer just to realize that the place where they transfer has another challenge, another problem. So for schools, they're actually trying to focus on the wrong problem. They're trying to say, oh, students are transferring, so I'm going to put boundaries around it. I'm gonna make sure that students pay their fees and they stay the semester. No, if a student is not happy, they're anyways gonna find a way to transfer. The best way for our institutions, and I'll give you an example. We've had one of our institutions where the transfer rate for international students is literally just 2%. And they've been growing year over year by over 300 to 400% in terms of students. How are they doing it? They actually don't even have a great campus. There are literally a few blocks of buildings in the city outside of Manhattan, and they're able to retain all their students. And what we start to realize, we were interviewing a lot of students. What we start to realize is that students don't transfer or start disliking the institution because they find something else better. What's missing for students, especially international students, is the lack of community. Right? If schools are able to build a really good community around a student, an international student, be it through, graduate student offices, like a lot of our schools that are really successful at this have international graduate student organizations. Sometimes they'll even have it based on, countries or regions. Like there's a South Asian graduate student organization at one of our schools. And it's literally only built for students from the Indian subcontinent, which is a huge, typically a huge set of students at the campus. There's a student organization for Asian students, and it really helps. So what I would advise really strongly in terms of strategies that work is don't focus on students that are transferring and start to put boundaries around it. Make it actually free and flexible, but create a community atmosphere around them by building associations, organizations, a space where they feel safe and secure. They can come and talk about challenges they're facing. You should know that this is a student who's left their home, their friends, their families, everything. And they're in a land where everything is foreign to them, including the people. A lot of the students who come here come from Asia, right? About 70% plus students will come from that side of the world. For them, America is new. The people are different. Everything's different. So that sense of community is what we feel like is the number one thing international students search for. And the schools that are really consistent in performing better and doing well for those students and retaining them are the ones who create a community atmosphere.
Do you have any experiences from your own college that have informed your decision to work in higher education technology?
That's very close to heart, that question. Honestly, I started iSchool because of my own experiences with higher education globally, not just America, just globally. Because when I was in India, I applied to schools across Canada, US, UK, and Australia. And I thought, again, I was searching for community. I was searching for people who care. And the school I went to, Bentley, the reason I picked it, of course, one, I got 100% scholarship, great, no beating that. But also the sense of belongingness that the admissions team at Bentley created for me. I'm still connected with the director of admissions who's now working at, left Bentley, working at another school and then working at a third school now. But I'm still so well connected with that person because she was my only, friend, honestly, when I came here, the only help I could find. And that really led me to think about all international students who come here like me. I mean, I'm not somebody who needs a lot of help. And even for somebody who's a self-starter, if it's so hard to just settle, find a place, simple things like how do you start a bank account in America? It might feel like a very trivial thing, but for an international student, it is hard. Even to get a SIM card for a phone, it was so confusing for me because in India, you have to fill a long form. You have to submit it. They're going to verify that you're a legit person and it's going to take 48 hours. But this whole concept of, you can just walk into an AT&T bill office and just ask for a SIM card and actually also get a phone and not pay any money because it's zero down. These are all new things. They're very simple, but they're new for international students. So I said, I need to build an avenue for international students to not just find the university where they belong, but also get help with everything around it. Everything from accommodation, loans, travel, you name it. And that's the goal of iSchool. And that was our mission on day one. It's our mission today, and it's going to be iSchool's mission for the rest of its existence.
What is the hardest part about applying for a foreign university as an international student?
If you literally go on iSchool Connect or any other place to search for a school and say you want to do, MBA, just look for Masters in Business and pick America, and you'll probably get about 300 hits. How do you know what's right for you? A lot of times, the biggest challenge becomes, what's the max I can get, right? It applies to anything. Like think about you go to get a loan, right? And you don't know what the interest rate's going to be. And you're trying your best and your loan officer is trying the best to get you the best interest rate. It's all an unknown. And even a 1% shift in interest rate means a lot more money going out of your pocket. It's the same with schools. When a student comes to us, the biggest question they have is, what's the biggest bang for buck I can get for my profile? And there's so much happening. There's so many schools, different things that matter, rankings. For some students, it's like, I want to go to a well-ranked school. For some students, it's like, I want to spend less money. For some students, it's about a job. Actually, for most international students, it's about a job. So just the unknown and that problem of choice, like what do I choose and what's the right fit? Because for a lot of international students, one wrong move means you are stuck with $100,000 student loan, or maybe around 50, 60, whatever, right? $50,000, $60,000 student loan. You don't have a job in the US. if you go back to your country, you're not going to be able to make the monthly payments on that $60,000 loan working in India, most likely, or any other country, because the US is one of the best, still one of the best in terms of post-study pay, right? So those are things that students think about a lot. And then they'll ask us the question, hey, Ashish, do you think if I go to this school that you're suggesting, do you think I'll be able to make that payment, get a job, and be successful? It's a big unknown. Choice is the biggest problem. And I tell students a lot from my own personal experience, because I got admitted to Yale and to Bentley. Sometimes you got to think of it this way. If you're in the bottom 5th percentile at Yale, you might still be in the top 5th percentile at a school like, let's say, Bentley. You got to make that choice. Do you want to be in the bottom 5th at a Harvard or a Stanford or a Yale, or you want to be in the top 5th at a Bentley or a Rutgers or a school that's, where it's a little less competitive, but you get to shine? It's very hard. And that's what we've been trying to solve for the last 5 years, is how do we get to pinpoint precise choice for a student?
Ashish, do you have a favorite type of school you like to have your AI implemented in?
Well, that second part of the question is really important. If it's about implementing AI fast, scaling fast, and actually making a change without wasting time, I'm a big fan of online schools. Yes, I'm gonna put it out there, right? We work with a lot of traditional schools, but honestly, our online customers are the biggest adopters of our AI. They love to experiment. They actually love to fail. I feel like in higher ed, one of the biggest challenges is we are afraid of failing. But when I look at online schools, they are rapid. They're okay to fail, but they want to scale. They're hungry to grow their numbers. And then traditional schools will look at them and say, what is this? They're recruiting almost every student and they're just giving them all these programs and courses. Yes, because their goal is, today they may not be there, but their goal is, can I get this student? Traditional schools they keep saying that, online schools are trying to move so fast. They're trying to get all these students recruited and admitted, almost 100% admission rate, acceptance rate. Yeah, why not? Online schools the schools we work with that use our AI can admit a student. They take them from literally like going to university's website all the way to admission in under 20 minutes. I am not kidding. Wow. That includes analyzing transcripts, understanding the student's profile, what program they should be part of, and whether they'll be successful at a job. Yeah, are they fully there? They're not fully there. Yeah, people look at job placement rates from online schools and say, oh yeah, what are they giving students, right? But they'll get there. If any school will get there first, it'll be them, I feel. And so I really enjoy deploying my AI at an institution that's fearless, that wants to do things, that's okay experimenting, and maybe 3 out of 5 experiments fail, but the 2 that are successful are amazing, because it's a win-win-win for us, for the institution, and for the learner.